Coach, what's allowed the linebackers to kind of find their groove and play faster over the last 5 games?
Over the last 5 games, I just think that in terms of the continuity on defense, our familiarity with the defense, the way that it's look, every year's different. We got new pieces. We had a new defensive coordinator come in. We still look very similar to last year if you watch the tape. There's always a little bit of nuance in how we're going to call things and what way we're going to handle certain situations. I think there's always a little period of time where you have to adjust to that, just to how the new coordinator sees it and how the coordinator calls it when you get in the game, because you don't really know that until you get to the games. Point being, that's really irrelevant, is it's really just this group of people, this 2025 team, 2025 defense, coming together without the likes of Xavier Watts, without Jack Kaiser, without these guys that have played so much football. This is kind of the first time in a while we've had a little bit less experienced team, and I think that's really what has most to do with it.
And then what's an underrated part of KBA and Drake's game that we might not know about or see on Saturday that you kind of take for granted maybe?
One thing about Drake is, I think people look at Drake and they stereotype him and say, hey, I don't know, can that guy cover running backs out of the backfield? Can that guy cover tight ends? And I'll tell you right now, he can cover them with the best of them. That's something he's gotten really good at. He's worked at it. He's like 230, 235 right now, so he can run with any of them. So if you're asking me about Drake, that would be the answer for Drake. KBA, you pretty much see everything he's got on Saturdays, man. I mean, he can make spot plays at a lot of different spots, whether it's on the line of scrimmage, blitzing, playing stack backer. He can move. His shoulder and hip separation is second to none. So I don't think King's really hiding anything from anybody. You're kind of seeing what King is, and he's a special player when he's on.
How hard does Drake hit out there?
How hard is Drake? Drake's had the opportunity to make some good plays, some big hits. You know, a lot of those are, you have to put yourself in the position, and then you have to be able to finish and capitalize on the situation. He's been able to do that. I think that's been his way of being the physical presence for our defense.
I was going to say, how much of an impact does that make beyond that play? Just like kind of just rallying the rest of the team when they kind of see that as well.
Well, we pride ourselves on being a physical football team. I mean, that's what we say. We're a physical football team. Okay, and anytime you get the chance to make a play like that, it's really important that you make it, because we can't just walk or talk the talk. We got to walk the walk. Okay, so the first thing is getting in the position to make that play, and the second thing is going in and capitalizing it, because like you said, that brings the whole team up. That allows you to put the tape on and say, here's the expectation, here's what we want, here's what Notre Dame defense should look like.
What is Notre Dame's defense as a whole, in your eyes, their identity right now?
I think our identity is to attack. I think it's to attack for the most part. We play a lot of man coverage. You can watch the tape and see that. We're going to bring some guys from different levels, different angles, but our philosophy is to attack and make you react to what we're doing.
I know you're a linebackers coach, but when you see CJ Carr out there, what stands out to you from him, and how has he earned the defense's trust?
He's definitely earned the defense and the whole team's trust. You can see that walking back from practice. If I'm being completely honest with you, when the offense is out there, my head is in an iPad. And that's not like my head is in an iPad watching the tape. So I literally have seen so much less of the offense than you guys have. But I can tell you from the way he carries himself and the way that the guys respect him, I know him and King are really close, that he's doing, and we're scoring points, he's doing something right. So from my perspective, to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of it, but he's a great guy. He's from Michigan. I'm from Michigan. I'm familiar with where he's from. I'm excited about what he's doing. I'm excited about the whole offense and what they've been doing.
Going into this season, what stood out with the linebacker core that maybe didn't stand out before?
I think walking into this season, I know I just use this kind of in a different way, but we were younger, but we're still experienced. Like, we had 4 guys that had played starter reps last year. So we knew we were, like last year we were building that as camp went on to see who was going to be in the rotation, if there was going to be a rotation. This year we walked in with 4 guys that knew that they were the starter. I mean, I know we put the depth chart out there and everyone says these 2 are starting, like they're starters now. We don't even say 1s and 2s. So knowing that going into it was great, and then now pulling guys along like Madden, Faremo, and Kahan, who's been coming over to work with us, it's only going to make us deeper and better. And Madden's coming along well, put himself in that 5th position.
How has linebacker play changed since you were a linebacker at Michigan State compared to now?
I think it's a lot, just in general, every year since, every year since pretty much when I played. It's more in space, it's more open formations, it's more having to cover the back out of the backfield or make a space tackle, or I got to take my drop and then go make a vice tackle over there, as opposed to when I played it was a lot more downhill, a lot more run. That wasn't, I mean, we played Darquez and Arnold, or not Darquez, but Shoelace and all that, so the fast guys, but it wasn't as much of the quarterback run and the different types of run schemes you're getting now, where it's a lot of it's in space.
CJ, with the changes on the offensive line over the last couple of weeks, how beneficial was the bye week just to kind of get on the same pitch with everybody?
Yeah, I think it helped a lot just to not only get those guys healthy and moving a little faster, but also giving them some opportunity to get ahead on the week's prep.
And then after one of the games, you mentioned Tyler Butler's impact in the quarterback room. Are there a couple examples of where he's kind of helped you, whether it's an unserious matter or a serious matter?
Yeah, Ty does a lot all around. It's mostly just how he used to read things, or how he saw things, or how he attacked a certain coverage, or just some of the cool stories he had from Alabama and his experiences. So he's helped a lot on and off field.
Was the bye week a good one for you to be able to kind of just reset a little bit and get a little bit of a break in there after grueling for 7 weeks as a starting quarterback?
Yeah, for sure. It was good to just go home and see the family for a little bit and hang out. And I went to my brother's high school game, so it was cool to just be able to watch a game from a fan's perspective instead of playing.
What were the first 7 weeks like for you as you kind of look back at it?
They went fast. They went fast. I expected it to feel a lot longer, but it's been a fun process, and I've enjoyed it.
Hey, CJ, when you look at your O-line and D-line out there battling every day, how do they shape your confidence and also development as the young quarterback?
Yeah, Coach Free always talks about how we're a O-line, D-line driven unit and team, and it always starts up front, and those guys are battling each and every game and then each and every day in practice.
And has there been a certain mistake you've made that has been super valuable to you growing this year?
I think, you learn from all the mistakes, and then also just being out on the field and doing it has really helped.
What did you learn from maybe the struggles in the USC game that can help you now for these last 5 games?
Yeah, for sure. That USC game was a battle, the whole 60 minutes, and so dealing with the environment, dealing with the crowd, and dealing with all those things. We've been through it with Miami. We went through it with Texas A&M, and then you add on the elements to that, and you come out on top in a top 25 matchup, and it felt great.
Midway through the season, what's your mindset right now? What goals do you have?
It's just 1 week at a time. It's every week is the playoffs, and we're trying to just continue to elevate and be the best team that we can be.
What are the next steps in your game that you want to take yourself to?
I think it's just the consistency that our whole offense plays at, and being able to consistently put points on the board and start fast, and win the middle 8 and then finish the game off strong. I think the crispness and how we do that is really important.
Where do you feel this red zone offense is at? That's obviously been an area that you guys haven't had as consistent throughout the years.
Yeah, it's good. We're getting there, and same answer. We're just trying to continue to be more consistent and work to be the best version of Notre Dame offense we can be.
Joe, Marcus had mentioned you had always been working despite maybe not playing as much. What kind of allowed you to do that over the last couple years?
Yeah, you never know when your opportunity is going to arise here, and to always stay ready. It's what we take pride in, that next man up mentality, and so always coming every day to work to get better. It's the most important thing, and that's what I try to do. So.
And then when you signed, I think it was your athleticism that people were talking about. Where's your game kind of evolved since you've been here?
Yeah, obviously they see me as an athletic guy. I was a big hooper back in the day, but I've been involved in my strength. Just getting off the ball, tearing off the ball. Also with communication with my guys, and just playing for the brother next to me, biggest thing. And so And lastly, I'll say like my pass pro is so much better. Coming from a wing tee offense, it's really weird, but definitely big time in that.
What's it like, or why is this offensive line room so able to have that next man in mentality? Because obviously it's not just this year you guys done it. You were able to do it last year too. What's it about this group that's allowed that to happen the last 2 years?
Yeah, it's just the work we put in. All the dudes, we always working together. We're always in film together. We're big on just togetherness as a whole. And, everyone has a huge amount of love for the guy next to them. And to play for the guy next to him, as I said earlier, is just the biggest thing to us. And to be unselfish, to keep pushing through, it's what we base ourselves off of. So,
it's one thing to be ready to go, but then action goes down and boom, you're in. What were those moments like when you just had to go out there and play?
Yeah, it happened quick, but you always got to be ready. Like if you're the next man in, obviously. Always got to stay ready. That was the biggest thing, and that allowed me to get through, go play well in the game. It's just football at the end of the day, and so that's what I did.
Marcus Freeman always says you guys are O-line and D-line driven. How do you and also the O-line protect that standard?
Yeah, we take so much pride in it. He always says it in the team meetings. It's our biggest thing. Every day we iron sharpens iron with these guys. They're the best D-line in the nation, and couldn't be more thankful to work with them and help me push to improve every day.
And how is it working with CJ Carr and kind of his poise and composure as you guys protect him?
Yeah, CJ's awesome. He's been doing great. That's my locker room buddy. Spent a lot of time with him, but he's been awesome. He's a great guy. Always working. He raises the bar for this whole team, and that's what we really enjoy ourselves with. So yeah.
Tae, last month you talked about just adjusting to starting and everything. I guess now that you've had a couple games under your belt, where's the game kind of slowed down for you?
I would say really everywhere, to be honest. Just every game, every day, I'm just learning stuff new. I'm learning different things. So I would say it's definitely slowing down for me everywhere, to be honest. The biggest part for me, I would say, would just be like the run fits and like the run gaps, because I feel like that's where I needed to improve on my game, to be a complete safety. So that's definitely slowing down, and it still has some ways to go as far as that aspect of the game, but I would say pretty much everywhere.
And then the last couple of weeks, the defense looks like it has its swagger back. I guess what's it like being in that type of environment where everybody's making plays at all three levels?
It feels good, especially after watching how our defense was last year, and not to talk too much about last year, but that's the type of team and defense that I wanted to play for, and to have that energy back, it feels good all around. It feels like we're all competing, which is the main part. We're all playing for each other. We're all playing just to be our best, and I feel like if we come out with that swagger and that confidence every game, we'll be hard to beat for sure.
How much does it help being next to a guy like a Don? How does that make you a better player?
Definitely makes me a better player to just be by him, because ever since I've been here, he kind of took me under his wing. So just having him and knowing basically we're in the same position. Like I'm basically in the same position he was last year. It's basically just another mentor for me. Another coach, to be honest. Like I'm going through the same stuff that he went through, and he's did it before, so he can point me in the right direction and tell me what I need to do and what I don't need to do. So having Don around for sure has definitely been helpful.
How much does it energize you to have the D-line out there dominated?
I'm sorry. It energizes me a lot, because where I'm at, I could kind of see everything, so I just, as far as them doing their job, I just want them to know, that I see them and they're getting sacks and tackles for loss, that stuff It gives us energy. It gives us confidence, and we see that. They can't always see us guarding people in coverage and stuff like that, or getting PBUs and stuff, but we can see them up close, and, we appreciate them. We need them. We work in hand with them, and what they do helps us out a lot. So seeing them get sacks and pressure the quarterback, it makes the game fun, because we know if they get sacks and pressures on the quarterback, we get easy picks and stuff like that. So it just works hand in hand for sure.
And in your perspective, how is it going up against CJ Carr and the receivers, and how does their style challenge you guys?
It definitely challenges us a lot, because we get I feel like a lot of stuff that other offenses will run, we kind of already seen it from our offense. So just going against like CJ and our receivers is definitely, we have a lot of versatile pieces on offense, which gives us, it helps us, it prepares us, for all the other offenses that we'll face.
Jalen Smith, a few weeks ago, he said you're like a little brother to him. How has his character inspired you on and off the field?
Yeah, definitely. Jalen inspired me a lot for sure. Like just us both being from Fort Wayne, and just to have that face, like for me growing up, just to have that face that I could look at and see and know, like, okay, he's doing everything that I want to do. He's playing college football. He was a first-round draft pick, second-round draft pick. Just to see that face and be in Fort Wayne, it gave me all the confidence I needed, and I kind of just went with what he did, and kind of just learned from him as our relationship grew. And I'm grateful for him for sure, and definitely he's a great impact for me and the whole Fort Wayne for sure.
Jason, how much confidence did that USC game kind of give you after just coming back this year?
I would say it gave me pretty much a lot of confidence. Just being able to play the brand of football that I know that I'm capable to do. The thing now that I have to keep working on and just like being honest is just like being consistent about it, expecting that same level of play for myself each and every Saturday.
And then facing Joe Otting and Sullivan every day in practice, what do those two do well?
Those two are guys. They're basically no drop off. I see from Billy and Ashton. I told Jay when the first time he was getting a start, I think it was last week against USC, go be the dog I know you can be, because like I know what's expected of him and know how he trains and practices each and every single day. So there's really no surprise that they're going to play and dominate the rest of the season or however long need be.
What's allowed the defensive line and the defensive tackles in particular to take the steps they have throughout the season?
I would honestly just say left foot, right foot, just being consistent, buying into the game plan, buying into Coach Ash, Coach Walsh, like the little details, the intricacies, more film analysis, just like being able to like play more free once we get the play call, play more fast, and play as confident as we know we can be able to. It all starts in practice overall. So just like the way we come to practice, what's demanded of us, that's like the main thing I'd say.
Jason, how do you define winning in the trenches, and what's the biggest growth you've seen from this year compared to week one?
The main thing is just violence, I'd say. Violence and play speed. Like, you can't have no hesitation when you're playing in the trenches, because at the end of the day, it's a battle of two wills. So if you're the faster, lower, leverage also matters. But if you're the fastest, lowest, and you have the most, Coach Walsh uses the term bad intentions, you should win each and every time.
And how do you prepare mentally to control the line of scrimmage for that first snap?
I would just say, honestly, just like trusting yourself, trusting your preparation. So a day like today, on a Tuesday, a lot of the work gets done here today. We call today Bloody Tuesday for a reason, because everything should be bloody, because once you step foot on the field on Saturday, there should be no hesitation, no lack of judgment. You should just be able to go at it and get it.